Okay, today we're going to look at setting up your Google Classroom. We're basically just going to look at the steps to set up the classroom and how you get students enrolled in that classroom. First thing we want to do is open up our web browser, which I've already done. We want to double check that we are in our school Google account, which if I hover over here, it tells me that I'm in hps.org. So yes, I'm in my school Google account. We could type classroom.google.com up here and get into it, but it's probably easier just to click on the waffles, find Google Classroom in the list of apps that are available to us, and click it. If this is the very first time that you've opened Google Classroom, you may be prompted as to whether you're a teacher or a student. Your students will need to say they're students, and you'll need to say that you're a teacher. But since I've already used Google Classroom, I'm not going to get that prompt. So we're here. It says no classes. Okay? So what I'm going to do to begin to set up a class is I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I don't want to join a class. I want to create a class. So I click Create Class. Here's where we have to give the class a name. That's the only thing that's required at this point. So I'm going to call it Demo Class number 1. Okay? We could call it, give it a section number if we were teaching multiple sections. I'm going to call I am going to put in subject training. Okay? And now I'm going to go ahead and create. May take a moment. We just got to be patient. It's working, trust me. There we go. And it opened up into our demo class. If you click up here and you go to just classes, it shrinks. If you had more than one class, they would be listed in this place. But we only have one class, and we have 0 students in that class. So I'm going to click on it and open it up. Now what we want to do is we want to add students to that class. We have a couple of options to do that. And the easiest one probably is use the class code. It's right here. And you could just highlight it and copy it. And I will show you what the student would do with that code in a few moments. But you'd copy that. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to copy it. Okay. Also, when we finally get back in our classrooms, you could click this. That code could be projected to your whiteboard. You could even make it real big and tell the students to copy that code and they'd be in. But since we're doing this remotely, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So the other option is when we go here to people, okay, we can add students. If we know our students' school email address, which is their 700 number, we could invite them that way. So we would put their 700 number at students.hamtramckschools.org. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to use a 700 number, but I am going to use a student username that's been set up for testing purposes. HPS student at students dot Hamtramck Schools .org. Okay? Once you've typed that in, you have to hit the enter key, and now this little invite fills in. You could type in a whole class list if this is the way you want to invite your students to get into your class. And I've clicked invite, and they've now been invited. It says here that they've been invited, but they have not yet enrolled. They have not yet enrolled. If I go back to stream, that's kind of like your landing page for your class. When you start creating assignments and stuff, you'll do it in Classroom or classwork. And if you do assign grades, we'll be doing some grading in here. But we'll look at that in the future. So I'm going to go back to stream. Once again, if you want to have them enroll through the code, it's right here. Okay, and I've already copied it, but I'm going to copy it one more time. Now, let's see what a student would see. Let's take a look and see what a student would see. So I can click up here, and I actually have more than one Google account available to me, and I'm going to click on this one, which is HPS student. Okay, so that's that student that I just invited. So once they're logged in, they'll need to make sure they're in their school email, or their school account, which they are. They could click up in here. These are apps that are available to them, or like I said, they could click in here, Classroom. Google .com. Hit enter. Now, this particular student has got 2 joins waiting for them. The one that we just sent right there, which is Demo 1, and I also, in testing, tried sending one from Miss Baugh's class at the high school. So this student has been asked to join 2 different classes. Now, if there was nothing showing up in here, and I had provided I didn't use the student's email to invite them, and they need to be enrolled via the code, all they would do is click the plus to create or join a class. They're going to join a class, and in this area right here is where they're going to put that code that you sent them. I'm going to use Control V just to copy it because I didn't write it down. I click join. Once again, it takes a little bit of time. That student is now enrolled in this class. That student is enrolled in your class. If I come over here and I go to classes again, now we see this no longer says join or decline. It shows that they're enrolled in that class. We're still waiting to see if they want to join or decline Miss Baugh's class. So let's go back to the teacher's Google account, which is right here. And now if I come over here to people, I come down and I see that this student is now enrolled in my class, and I can start working with them. Let's see what happens if the student tries to enroll in a class when they're not signed into their school Google account. So once again, I have some Google accounts here that are active. This happens to be my personal Google account. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go into Classroom. I got to find it. Right there. I'm going to click on it. It's taking me into Classroom. I am not enrolled in any classes, therefore I need to join a class. I got that code from you. I want to say join class. Okay, but I am not signed into my school Google account. This is my personal one. I'm going to hit Control V to paste it. I'm going to click join. Gave me a code saying the code is not valid. The reason that they're getting this error message is they are not signed into their school Google account. Must be signed into their school Google account. Just to give you a little heads up on some of the problems that they may have. Let's go back to the student account. Once again, they're there. Just to show you one other way that the student could have gotten in if they wanted to, because you used their school email address when you invited them to enroll. If I go here to Hamtramck High School bookmarks, I go down to webmail. And as we said, every student has a email. So if I put HPS student at hamtramckschools.org. Now I need to put in the password. That's the same password that they would log into the computer with at school. And I click sign in. I'm just going to say no. And you can see here that this student has several invitations. I've been playing with this today. And so you'll see that this student has several invitations waiting to join classes. They would click on here, and then they could just click join, and they would be joined into the class. Once again, they were already in the class, so they're there. I hope this information has been helpful. Play with it a little bit, and good luck. Thank you for your time.